All right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Starlight RI League Star Series American Qualifiers. Our final game of the night, Team Onyx versus Team NP. And NP up 1-0. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Nahaz once again. We got some Lone Druid, Nahaz.
Yeah, this is Team Onyx going back to the playbook that worked for them earlier in these qualifiers. They will put Mason on that Lone Druid, and they'll go for the Slardar to try and crank up the damage. Remember that new right-click build for the Lone Druid? Well, he is going to be doing even more, chasing heroes around the map with the vision provided by that amp damage. Meanwhile, Team NP go back to a combination that has worked really well for them lately. They're going to have MSS on that Centaur. They will likely have SVG on. Oh, no. It's actually been Rose that's playing the 4 for them now. They've switched up a little bit. They're going to have Rose on the left rack. SVG is the hard 5. Potentially look at it something like a Crystal Maiden for him. This is a solid open, though, by Onyx. Heroes that they're very confident with.
Lone Druid, real quickly on him. Again, I know this whole right click, the Sniper 2.0, whatever you want to say it as. Is there still a viable reason to ever build up the bear? Like, is that still a thing, or is it just all about we just got to build him as a turret now?
I mean, sure. And as you go into a late game, you're a 12-slot hero. So yeah, you build up the bear then. But no, I think the right-click build is just so good on him in so many ways. I think I can see some situations where you might build up the bear as a kind of bizarre fallback plan. But remember that Ice Frog's approach to try and get Lone Druid back into the meta when he wasn't being picked at all for so long was to try and buff the bear little by little.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, those buffs are already there. 7.0 rolls around, and he's got these ridiculous talents that make this right-click build possible. And all of a sudden, you've got the right-click build with a bear that's much, much more viable in the past without items.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's made Lone Druid ridiculous. This is a little bit surprising to me, seeing the Bane pick. Because, again, you're not really going to grip the bear, and by the time he gets those talents up, the Druid is going to be far enough in the back that he's not going to be in a great position to get gripped. But it certainly gives them a lot of potential to own the laning phase.
I'll say it's a great setup for Leshrac for the splitter stun. You know, you got Centaur as well, followed with a hoof stomp. So as far as that nightmare goes, but yeah, you got the ultimate as well, the Fiend's Grip as you're talking about right here. Bane is not a popular hero at all. I mean, is it really maybe that enfeeble? Like, is that logic for you put that on the Lone Druid? It mitigates his damage a bit.
I think it's a decent idea, but again, you have to get close enough to the Lone Druid to cast your spells, and that's not trivial with the level of. And again, Onyx are going to come back with a terrific zoning hero in the Clockwork. Probably going to be a Bulba Clockwork now with a 4-position Slardar for them on the dire side. This Bane he's just going to have a really hard time finding the angles to get into fights. If the Bane pick is going to work, it's going to be because they are absolutely going to crush in dual lanes with it, or potentially even use it to put some pressure on the mid.
Yeah. They go 4th pick Lifestealer, pretty later on Lifestealer, and they don't really have a vehicle for him yet. I mean, maybe the Centaur, I guess, but.
That's a really your 5th pick now has to be something fairly mobile. Ember's already banned. You look at we saw the Storm Spirit on the losing side in the last series as a vehicle for the Lifestealer. I guess Puck is still on the table. Is that still a hero? But Lifestealer, he has so much to work around in fights. He has the Lone Druid that can easily kite him with the bear in the range build. He has the Clockwork zoning him out with the cogs. He's got to worry about that amp damage being on him all the time, which just crushes him as he is a naturally low armor hero. They've got to have a really good, well-defined idea in mind for their 5th pick here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Onyx just flat out ban the Storm.
Yeah, it's one of those. NP, yeah, exactly. Eternal Envy being the captain here. They've probably talked about some kind of lineup that they're drafting right here that maybe it's hard to truly understand just from our perspective, but we'll see more and more of it as the game picks up here. But also got that final pick to go, so perhaps more information, more answers to come. But Dazzle now thrown up there for Team Onyx, so they get a very solid support.
There is an outside shot that they could be like doing something really weird and going and shoving Leshrac in the mid roll and picking like an invis support to get the Lifestealer into fights.
Oh.
But That
Interesting.
that sounds far-fetched even as I say it.
Well, I mean, Leshrac mid is not out of the question completely.
No,
DC did it earlier in this event, so.
Yeah, I could kind of see that as a mix-up, but Onyx are going to see that possibility.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
But then at the same time, then you're picking up an Invis hero into a Slardar, and then that could get a little awkward.
Remaining.
That Corrosive Haze, so.
Well, it's not. It's kind of not as big a deal because you're counting on your Invis hero to mostly to get
Go
Lifestealer
first.
into the fight.
Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, that's you look at how like Liquid used to run that combo. You know, they have Curl on the Ricky, and he'd run into a fight with Mind Control or with Matumbleman's Lifestealer inside him, and if he dies, they don't care.
Interesting. All right, we'll see what Team NP decides to go for again. That's all in speculation that it's not going to be a support Leshrac, but probably have to suspect more of a support Leshrac in the end because it's just simply what we see of him lately. But
yeah, exactly. The Dazzle, I actually also like the Dazzle pick a lot here. Again, you gotta respect the pressure potential that Bane can put on the lanes. Dazzle gives you more minus armor potential against the Lifestealer. The Shadow Wave is physical damage, so the heal buff will work even through Rage. So it's a good pick.
more physical damage
Radiant
coming out now. Juggernaut's interesting though at the same time because the spin, you know, he can still actually be locked down by the Fiend's grip as well.
And it is a bit of protection against the mix-up where they put Leshrac in the mid. Juggernaut can spin and avoid a lot of the Leshrac spell damage.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know, though.
Oh, well, it's going to find out this answer here.
It's not a great... Jug just doesn't feel like a great pick here.
No?
There's so many situations where I feel like kind of clock is going to get in his way in these fights.
That's true. Yeah, you always got to be careful when you have the melee core going along with the clockwork on your team because those cogs can be pretty annoying as far as following up in damage. I mean, he's going to have a lot of amp damage, though, an offensive weave. You got Slaughter with the Corrosive Haze, so Juggernaut potential to hit hard and kind of be the front liner for the team. But, yeah, it sounds like you maybe would have rather had more of a beefier.
Yeah, I really would rather have had a hero that can deal burst damage inside those cogs like a Potom or an Invoker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Francis's Invoker's a little bit... He's a good Invoker player, but his Invoker's a little bit volatile.
It is banned up there, but yeah, he has played it a couple times.
That's true.
In this event, but the Quap, as you mentioned, that could have been an option too.
Oh no, Quap is good. I said Mirana, Potom. But
okay.
Quap's that's a decent pick as well. That hero's it's kind of back, although I feel like people are overrating the level 25 spell lifesteal talent because level 25 is going to feel, and there you go. It's kind of back because of the potential of the level 25 talent, although that may be a little over. The percentage of games in which you actually hit level 25 in Pro Dota is not that high.
Yeah. I've had some discussions with that with some other co-casters, and yeah, it's like on paper, it's one of those on paper, it's like, oh my god, that's ridiculous, and we've seen it a couple times. But you're right, you have to get to that point in the beginning, and getting there is not necessarily easy unless you're Meepo maybe, but
still, what it does though at the pro level. Anytime you're adding another dimension to the hero, anytime you're basically letting the hero contribute another win condition to its lineups. Like the fact that talent makes Quap a viable late gamer now, of like one of the top tier late gamers now, that's important.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though it doesn't factor into that many games played. But I think this is a very strong laning draft here by NP, and I would favor them a bit going into this final game.
Yeah, nice vehicle option in the end, and that Quap, of course, as well.
Yeah, it sort of went without saying that you had to have a mobility hero.
Yeah. That they do. So, yeah, these crazy ideas, Nahaz, but they keep it pretty straightforward in the end.
Yeah, I knew as I was thinking that in my head, I was like, I shouldn't say it because I'm gonna spend a bunch of time talking about it. They're not gonna do it.
You know what, Nahaz, you should. And I love doing that myself too. As far as it's fun of theory crap. People take it so seriously whenever we would never see that. But then the one time we do, it's like, I feel like a god. Oh my god, he's dead. Maybe?
Dude,
he's going to run right into the substop. Smash! Oh, no.
There are levels of death. He is very dead.
It just slowly added up over time right there. He's like, okay, I may still be able to get away, go up the stairs, and then smash.
30 seconds to battle.
That was unfortunate for him, but, well, NP, they're off to a hot start here as a result. Man, look at this Bane, by the way. That's a pretty sweet skin, and my game just crashed. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. Sorry, that is... I had never even seen that set in-game before for the Bane. That's actually so sick by SVG there. Nothing too terribly interesting going on here in the early game. Onyx kind of falling back after that early first blood. They're going to split the bounty runes evenly. Everybody's going to go more or less to the lanes you expect, although it is going to be... Now, I was wondering about this. This is going to be a Francis Lone Druid mid against the Queen of Pain, not a matchup that you get to see a lot. In theory, he can actually really threaten her in the laning phase.
Loading back in now. Went to check out that sweet set on Bane, and game's like, nope, you ain't going to do that. All right.
So it was so awesome that it just crashed your game, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
That's, I guess, what it came down to.
Valve, give us money. We just sold sets for you.
So, yeah, you mentioned Flea playing the lone. That is really something. Not what I would have expected here for Team Onyx, but he sent Juggernaut in the short lane. I mean, how does this make sense to you then?
Yeah, because so the change to Queen of Pain, where her Sonic Wave now pierces spell immunity, means that she does have some kill potential on the Juggernaut if you can harass him. So it's reasonable, and he actually, the Lone Druid can actually kill Envy here if he screws up his positioning. Mm-hmm. It's not easy.
Especially level 20 or level 5, excuse me. Of course, the Entangle, and then that becomes even a little more scarier. So MSS top lane, he's being boxed out. Yeah.
Bigger issues though is like, is Bulba going to get? I mean, he's cogging the creep wave back, but like, is he going to get anything down here in this bottom lane? He's pretty nice 3 denies. Although those are maybe those are even his own cogs. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good chance that could have been it.
The nerdy Shadow Fiend soul cog trick.
Yeah. Middle lane, Quap pushing pretty heavy into the tower right here. Spirit Bear taking some good damage, but of course, yeah, no kill or anything like that going to be happening. Bane rotating around. He has that Windlace early on. He went the Nightmare as well as the Brain Sap, of course, and going to control the 2-minute bounty rune right here. See what kind of setup he makes happen with that Nightmare effect. Again, it's going to be a great setup for the Leshrac, if anything, as we're talking about. And they're pinging middle. They want to make a play here.
This is Leshrac DD, and
oh, no.
if... Okay, good. Nice. There you go. Send that bear down. Okay, he sees it. Good.
Oh.
He's still dead. Okay.
He is still dead, actually, and double damage. Yeah, we'll finish him off. And now Dubu throws out the crush, but now Dubu's in trouble. I don't know if he's going to be able to get... He's dead. Final auto attack. Yeah, oh, man, never mind. He might actually escape right here. Brain zapping too, but he's not going to chase, so Tubu actually lives. Never mind. What am I saying? He had the dot. Okay.
One more. It was down to the last tick there on the Shadow Strike, but 2 points in the Shadow Strike by Envy there does get the job done.
Top lane was watching that as well. He barely got the kill on the Dazzle right before Juggernaut sliced through him with a spin.
And that's MSS is more than willing to make that trade. They're in a commanding position in the other 2 lanes. He's going to get himself that early XP for a kill on a support. NP is just, you compare this to the last game where Onyx got off to a great start in their lanes, looked like they had themselves a win condition before a couple of misexecuted fights. This is all NP from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Middle lane, it's going to get worse for Flea right here. There comes the Nightmare. Split Earth. No, he gets feared, actually. That's going to stop the initial Split Earth. He does land it onto Tubu, playing that slaughter, but of course they wanted Lone Druid, so not going to be a kill this time. Good job, though, in terms of getting that fear off at least before he was able to land the Split Earth.
And again, that part of the argument for putting the Lone Druid mid in this situation is to get him to that level 10, that 200 extra attack range faster. But he's going to be behind Quap by quite a bit. They're even in they're just about even in level right now, but he's got to play very, very carefully now with how badly the other lanes are going.
Yeah. Bane level 3 now, been rotating quite a bit, of course, moving around.
Look at the harass here in the mid lane. I mean, Francis is just, he's got... I just don't think he's going to be able to stand in this lane without Dubu basically babysitting him.
Yeah, that Shadow Strike clearly causing a lot of issue, and just the range, of course, of Eternal Envy, putting in the auto attack. So very good pressure coming out from him. You take a look at the net worth here. Swap over to that real quickly, and yeah, third in the game. But Lone Druid all the way fifth in the game currently. Not the prettiest start for him. Top lane, Juggernaut's fine. He is top farm himself. We'll see if he gets that Helm of the Dominator this time around or not.
Really, Rose's map movements have been very, very nice this game. Really good, efficient use of his time on that Leshrac. He is level 3, did combine for that kill in the mid lane, goes and sort of reestablishes MSS on the top lane after MSS farms a camp. You know, NP just look like they really have their early game rotations mapped out on the Radiant side.
Mm-hmm. 2000, got the free farm at the bottom. Clockwork, of course, level 6, going to be a big mark for him as usual with the hook shot. See if any movement comes out as a result of that, looking to make a play elsewhere. But, I mean, again, that's where you kind of look at Onyx's lineup, and at least in the earlier parts, it's like, do they really have a follow-up to the Clockwork initiation? It's not for a while.
It's, again, why I kind of didn't... It's why I didn't like the Jug 5th pick, is that you don't really have that spell combo where somebody gets caught in cogs and they're dead, especially not the Lifestealer now.
Yeah.
And look at just how Envy is hunting the jungle for Francis. At 6 minutes into the game, your lone druid who was mid is hiding behind his own tier 2 top tower. Like you're kind of in full, oh my god, what are we going to do to get back in this game mode?
It's like the old idea is that you know you're having a bad game when.
No, I mean, I hate to overstate that because it is obviously still early in the game. I mean, It's not like it's unwinnable, but it's just a really bad sign.
It's not good at all. And Flea, though, he's going to simply just jungle a bit for the time being and hope that he can get that recovery. But this does mean Quappa really is going to have that free farm now in the middle lane, and expecting her net worth to jump up quite a bit as a result of that. So Centaur looks like a pretty traditional build. The Tranquil Boots has a cloak now. Going to be building into the cloak upgrade here, and then what am I missing? What's the item called?
Hood?
Yeah, Hood. Yeah. God, for some reason I blinked on that. Anyways, Hood of Defiance, and then the Blink Dagger after that.
Yeah. And that Hood gives Centaur a lot of farming potential with the HP regen and the magic resistance, pushing up his double edge, as our audience most likely knows. But yeah, and Envy is really going to have a lot of kill potential in this game. They do not have much in the way of hard lockdown for him.
SVG, this is a lone Bane right now, so somewhat vulnerable, but he actually does have support coming in now, both Leshrac as well as the Centaur. Making their way up here. And that Bane has really, really paid for itself in terms of just... AUI has not had to worry about anything in this bottom lane. He's not felt the presence of anybody. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself, I mean, he's out-leveling their mid practically. Yeah, he is. He's ahead in levels of their mid, compared to their mid. Fantastic time. Yeah, level 8. That is the top level in the game. Yes, it is. The only one to be level 8 so far, top lane. SVG again. He's definitely baiting right here, it feels like. You got Leshrac nearby as well as the Centaur, so really hoping to maybe make some kind of bait. There we go. The Nightmare comes out, but going to be immediately taken off by Dazzle. So quick support there.
And this is where, you do not make the same mistake twice. This is exactly, it was a little bit later, but this is exactly the same area of the map that they got caught in game 1 trying to come into a fight. And they've got to expect, look at this Radiant Ward, kind of same idea as the ward that spotted the Ember Spirit coming in game 1.
The previous game there, yeah. Okay, so Quap, he's going to be building a Yules here, but we had a Quap here recently, one of these games, that actually ended up going a first item Orchid, and it worked out very well, but...
Yeah. First item Orchid is like, that's, it's kind of the dream, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where that's... If you're going to get value out of Quap, it's because she's getting into the backline, she's getting those support kills. It's so much more important now in Dota than it was even a year ago. You got to kill that enemy team's supports. Mm-hmm. Like, there are so many more items for supports. The wards and TP scrolls cost so much less. Their gold is much easier to come by and much more valuable to them
is under attack.
you've got to, as a Quap, look to get into that back line
Dire's
and
structures
take them
are
out.
fortified.
You know, the Eels is fine in this game because it's a good mana regen solution. It's going to let him farm.
You got Leshrac pressure in the bottom tower there with that Diabolic Edict. Level 2
Radiant
currently, but still plenty of
structures are
damage.
fortified.
Got the fortification out, I believe, so yeah, that will be on cooldown now. And
Radiant's
actually,
top
Dubu,
tower is under attack.
I don't think he realizes how much of a danger spot he's in, although Bobo's going to spot them rotating over. And now the open wounds onto Dubu activated. He's just simply running. He will dodge the splitter. If that means he's going to survive for the time being. They use the infest as well, but not enough damage. The Stampede also activated. And now the hook shot in actually does catch Bane. Bane in trouble. Has a brain zap. Slaughter will fall in the background. Gets the brain zap at the last second. And he's going to be able to walk it off. Maybe got blocked a little bit there.
God, this is exactly what you're talking about though, with just the lack of a combo from the Clockwork. Clockwork hits a hook on the enemy Bane, and they can't kill him.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. Rose, he's on the run. He'll be fine though, of course, with life stealer with full life next to him, so simply runs away. But yeah, definitely a concern of the lineup, and showing off right there. Bane is going to make his way back to base. And get the regen on. Juggernaut, he does end up getting the Helm of the Dominator, of course. Go out the Ring of Basilis and phase boots here. So,
Sorry, I'm just already sick of that item.
The Helm of the Dominator, yeah?
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be. I for the life of me again, I can't imagine why so many people complained about drums. Like drums is a fun item. It was a good team item.
Yeah. No,
Dom is like a farming stacking item. Okay.
Yeah, the team item now with the change, obviously, the auras and everything, and get that Alpha Wolf, and all of a sudden, extra aura. So.
I guess well, that was the Doom. It was Rose that did it in the last game.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they actually had an Alpha Wolf on the field in the last game, so maybe I shouldn't complain. No.
No.
Bottom lane, Juggernaut making his way down here, actually, currently by himself.
He's got his farm on, right? He's leading in net worth,
Yeah.
but then you look at his items, and this is not a build where he's looking to fight right now.
At least individually, yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top lane, though, they are going to put some pressure on the tower up here. Centaur will tank the creep wave, and there is that Hood of Defiance picked up right there. Blink Dagger queued up, of course. Oh, there's a Clockwork Trap, actually. Now Bane is nearby. He's going to throw the Nightmare. Catches one, delaying somewhat, but MSS, no, he's not out of there. The hookshot hits,
Tower is under attack.
and they get the kill. So that time he was low enough.
Little bit questionable there to attempt that top lane push pressure the tower without the Leshrac. He's the majority of your tower damage right now on the Radiant side. I mean, they are going to go ahead and try and apply some pressure to the bottom tower, but
That spin going to wear off. Is he going to use the
think
Sonic Wave? No. Oh, big counter crush. Actually, the Omni Slash slices and dices him. Ted Quap as a result. Beautiful turn. And, I mean, hell, they're diving a secondary tower at 12.5 minutes.
There, okay. Well, yeah, that's really unfortunate. That's, okay. They just created some space for us top. We maybe gave a little bit away by having Leshrac in the bottom lane. Let's try and salvage it by using that Leshrac in a tower push. Unfortunately, you end up getting over aggressive and giving away the pain.
Yeah.
Now, those are the kind of kills, like you said about the kill on Luna. Those are the kind of kills that really squander a lead.
Dire's middle tower is
And
under
bottom
attack.
lane initiation right there. The crush comes out, but Dubu quickly falls back, and the rest of the team going to join him as well. So, but they are buying space for this lone druid. Obviously, Flea had a very difficult start, but he is level 11 now. The 200 attack range talent and the Dragon Lance. It is in the works, so that's exactly what feels like Team Onyx. Going to be pretty satisfied having.
That was a close one, but he's gonna get home just fine.
Radiant's top
And
tower
Onyx
is
get
under
out of
attack.
that. They're not able to get that bottom tier 1 tower, but they do
Dire's
get out
bottom tower
without
is
giving
under
away
attack.
an This though is the difference. Now with the Leshrac in it,
Dire's
tower
bottom
is
tower has
help.
fallen.
Your mic is going in and out on me. I don't know if that's just Skype being crap or...
it is. Well,
Probably is.
Skype is pretty crap, but
Do we want to switch over to Discord?
let me one more time do the
All right.
old setting
Worthy
check
tribute.
boogaloo.
Switch around here. All right.
It should be okay, but
All right. It's just like it's like a suppression thing going on in terms of like goes in and out, so it's hard to hear sometimes.
That is really okay. Well,
If it really keeps up, well, I think we'll switch over. We'll give it just another shot here.
all right. Yeah. Let's give me a. I'll tweak a few things and let's try it again.
All right. So you sound good right now. You sound great right now. Oh, what's up here? Actually, interaction. Oh, that's just a spirit bear, but
that's just there's still 300 gold.
Yeah. Nice bounty and life
They're
stealer.
used to trying to get life stealer's mana back and continue. Seem drawn on the map.
Jumps in the centaur there. No blink dagger just yet, but still a good target to be inside.
It's a really good read. You can see MSS was the one that drew on the map. They're anticipating this push from Onyx, and if they come in at the right angle here, I think they're going to catch them by surprise. They blow both their shrines notice, right, to get those heroes back up to full mana. The scan!
Sees them back there. Look at that. And immediately they'll fall back.
Oh my, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
nice
saw that.
read by both teams. Yep.
Yeah, all the way back there. So exactly, very good read. And hey, like I was going back to earlier, though. I mean, the more this happens, although it's like, yeah, nothing happened there, but that's to the advantage of Onyx because Lone Druid, he's just pounding away at the top lane. Maelstrom queued up now. He's got the Dragonlance.
Yeah, I actually love that kind of stuff. It's like the Dota version of a pitcher's duel, right? It's just both teams making really good reads, showing good map awareness, and knowing what the opponent's trying to achieve. This is just like you said at the very beginning, two smart teams.
Yeah. Fun one here.
And you get your requisite amount of individual clowniness. It's just still two teams that understand the game at an elite level.
I'm going to make the call. Let's go over to Discord.
All right.
It's getting pretty bad. All right, I'm going to call my Discord real quickly, guys. Should have probably been using that from the beginning. Not too much going on right now, but... Oh, he has to be my friend first. Be my friend. You have to friend me.
Dire's middle
First.
tower is under attack.
All right, so we'll get him on here once we get this figured out here. Anyway, 16.5 minutes in right now. NP 5-4 lead as far as the net worth chart goes. Been a little bit of a roller coaster ride somewhat, but obviously going back up to nearly the 3,000 range. As well as about 1,000 experience lead on top of that.
All right. Let's give this a shot, man.
Okay.
Sound better?
It sounds better. You're a little loud for me right now.
All right.
Turn you down.
Sorry about this, guys. That's actually weird. I checked all my settings. I don't know what Skype was doing
It's
there.
just Skype. Let's just say.
All right.
Dire's middle tower is under
Should
Sorry
be good.
about that, folks. Fortunately, I don't think we missed a team fight there.
No. We're good. We
Awesome.
might have a team fight top.
Yeah, we got something brewing here, top lane.
SVG, he's poking in. He does have the Fiend's grip. See if he looks or gets an opening, but it's just him and Leshrac, actually, so there's not as much here as I suspected there was. Although they are coming to the flank. There we go. He forced out Fiend's grip going out. Dazzle is nearby, though. The heal's going to be used. Going to get the Shallow Grave off in time. Yes, he
nice
can.
grave.
The turret
Okay.
Omni-Slash coming out. On to Bane, meanwhile, and Mason will finish him off. In the background, though, they did pick off Flea, it looks like, on that Lone Druid. But now the chase continues in favor of Team Onyx. Nice drop right there with the cogs. Blade mail up, and now Owie has to turn around, try to fight this. Goes with the TP. That's not going to be enough, though. Double
that heal
kill for
bomb was
Mason.
actually really big. I'm not sure that Lifestealer is able to get out without that. That's Onyx needed that fight so badly. And I mean, it's nice. It's part of the strength of the Leshrac and the Bane there is that they can threaten the individual hero kill, and if they get it, can take the tower. But really, NP just misreading how many Onyx heroes were in the vicinity able to respond there.
Oh, top lane, though. They want revenge right here. They may have a chance for it, although Rose in the front lines, yeah, the blink dagger from MSS, he was a little too far away. Couldn't get there in time, so Juggernaut responds, and he falls back. He has a Manta style now, finish in full. This Juggernaut really has excelled in farm, man. Over 10,000 net worth now.
Yeah.
In this game.
Well, look, Mason... I always felt like Mason kind of got... People were really hard on him during his time in EG. He's a very good farming carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would say his hero pool was pretty small, but a lot of that was... He was a very different player to play around than Fear, so they just didn't have time to work with him in that many lineups. I think Mason can still be a very good player, in short.
Dire's structures
Hey,
are
I've been
fortified.
impressed with
And
his
this
play
is-
in this tournament. So
Yeah, this is your 4-position Leshrac up here. Bye-bye tower.
bottom
See ya.
lane, by the way, they trap in Quap, but obviously not the easiest hero to trap in with that blink. In fact, turning around the Nightmare the Bear, and now they're going for the turn kill on a Clockwork. Pops the blade mail, but Boba just simply delaying the inevitable, it feels like. As he's going to play distraction as well. Lone Druid buys him time to get out, pops another cog. He is going to eventually be chased down, though, by Eternal Envy.
Yeah, that's a fine play by Bulba. He's dead there. Buys his teammates plenty of time to get away and get to farming around the rest of the map, pushing out some lanes. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Juggernaut, Diffusal Blade, Diffusal Manta seems like it's been a strong combo. Maybe not as popular, but do you think Diffusal could be the good follow-up here?
It's not. I mean, sure, why not? I don't think there's like a hugely best build for Juggernaut in this game. I like Diffusal. I think the way the game's going, they can afford to focus on that push potential, and he is going to do a lot of damage in fights to the Quap, Leshrac, and Bane with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he is going to go that Maelstrom, though, yeah. Instead, as the Arcane...
That's fine. Again, it does... You pick your poison.
Yeah.
I think it does almost the same thing.
Fair enough. They're gonna. I thought they were gonna smoke into the Roshan pit for a second, but they're actually smoking to kind of flank here in the middle lane. Now Centaur, he picks up Lifestealer. Of course, has that blink. Slaughter, he's gonna be exposed. They see him there. Ping's coming out. Blink's going out way up here. Actually, they do catch one into Lone Druid. Actually, in the ultimate form, and the Shallow Grave is up. Juggernaut now taking some, or no, he's doing some good damage. I should say to Lifestealer. They drop in down for 50 seconds. No buyback. SVG in the background does have a Fiend's Grip still. Has a Nightmare cast on a Clockwork, but not enough lockdown on everyone, of course. As Quap keeping his distance. Bane, he's probably dead. Couple more auto attacks. No, maybe not. You'll Scepter. No, that's Spirit Bear.
And interesting how in this game, as in the last, that just so much of the game has turned around since one bad engagement on the enemy side of the map, where you give away that Lifestealer on the tail end of the fight. All of a sudden, now Jug has the big separation that he needs to really start taking over in some of these fights.
You know what?
And they're gonna get a free Roshan here. Absolutely no way that MP's gonna be able to contest.
Yeah.
Not with the minus armor coming out from amp damage.
No, that's a secondary tower killed, and yeah, they just have to defend at the base and then pushed back out. But there goes the Roshan kill. And who got it? That would be Flea on the Lone Druid.
Yeah.
So him over Juggernaut.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's really fully coming online. He's the one that needs that sort of one more item to be fearsome. Juggernaut already, he's got his items, man. He's a threat.
Oh, smoke in though. They could get the Aegis used ASAP. The big stop coming out to start Dazzle's death. There's the Aegis use.
Really good.
Will they stick around for another kill? Of course they will. They have plenty of damage and not much Flea can do to get away other than make them flee. That's not going to work though. Stampede activated, gets the kill. Get on out. It's a drive-by.
Yeah, that's a good Dota team right there. They're just way too many teams I see both in pubs and in pros that are passive in that situation.
Yeah.
When you just gave up a big fight, you just gave up your mid-tier 2 tower and the Roshan. I love the fact that MP is just staying on the offensive.
Yeah, how about out here? Going the Sanjin Yasha. Not an item we see all too often nowadays, but look, has a Yasha so far, and the Sage coming up next to follow up the Desolator.
Yeah, I think he really needs the extra mobility, honestly, in these fights offered by the Sanjin Yasha. It's just he's gonna get kited, he's gonna get zoned. He needs the race car build, baby. Get around.
Well, they're going to fall back, continue to farm some more. You got items on multiple heroes being built here, of course, including Quap, actually, the Blade Mail that he picked up, and now the Lincoln Sphere going to be next in line. But that Blade Mail and the Quap, we all know how great synergy that does have, especially at level 25.
The item that I actually think has the potential to have a really big impact, MSS is going to have his Lotus Orb. And if he gets that and gets it on in the right time during a fight, that could really disrupt so many of Onyx's abilities.
Well, for now, Onyx is going to push out the secondary tower bottom lane, and it seems like they can do it freely.
Look at this Lone Druid. I mean, he goes from being just food to all of a sudden just being a siege unit.
Yeah, it is insane. I mean, yeah, he has a 65 damage talent now, of course, on top of that. Extra 200 attack range. So that with his solid items here kicking in, and they're going to be sieging the base. So NP really has to make a decision here, and when they want to jump in, MSS hoof stomp. That was out of range actually. Going to just barely get on the outskirts. Not going to work. They'll nightmare the bear.
Like,
And try to kill it. Yeah.
when you look at this lone druid right now and look at his net worth, right? I mean, he's a couple K behind the Queen of Pain and the Lifestealer, but when those two talents, that's like, I mean, what, it's like probably 5K gold worth of items right there. It's just so huge for this hero, and it comes along at a point in the game when he's already pretty naturally strong with his abilities.
Yeah, and then it's like everyone knows this, but it's just, and the craziest thing is like, and then all on top of that, we're going to give you a 50% or 50-second respawn time minus on that. So it's at level 20.
For a core. Yeah.
For a core especially. It just feels absurd.
No big deal. No, it was a point that Waga made to me the other day on Twitter, that all 4 of his talents are just super good. The level 25 talent was arguably the worst one.
But it's still pretty good, yeah. Bane gets picked off right there. Omni Slash all on Queen of Pain! She does die.
God.
Splitter, it's not going to save. In fact, MSS now in trouble. NP falling to pieces right here.
Oh, man.
Quap's dead for a
I actually
minute.
expected NP to react a little bit quicker to that fight. I saw that happening, but I kind of didn't think it was going to be that big a deal.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't as well, but it turned out to be, and we saw the end result.
Oh no, it's vision. They only have the one. They only have the one ward in the river, way far off to the right. It doesn't see any of the smoke in past, so that's okay. Okay.
And now they're going to group up again. 25 more seconds still for Quap to resurrect. Again, no buyback, so not going to be the easiest hold. In 10 seconds, it's in that funky spot for Centaur. It's like he kind of wants to buy back, but he might as well wait it out now. So this tower is going to fall, and now the Rack's being vulnerable. So Centaur will be up in a couple of seconds. Quap's still about 10 more, but this Rack's it's going to fall by the time they get here, it feels like. Slaughter, he'll jump in on a Lifestealer, actually. If anything kind of delayed, then there's a Nightmare on Slaughter. They get the Rack's kill. Look at the damage follow-up, though, and Slaughter actually does die. But again, they got the Rack's, so they got what they came for. Juggernaut ports out. They're going to lose Dazzle. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, no question. They're totally happy with that if they can get out of this cleanly. Now, Envy might get the courier here.
Oh, is there anything on it? No. So just simply trying to be annoying and kind of kite away with. Oh my God.
No one saw that.
No.
I mean, it's not like he bought back in Sunstrike the Roche Pit. You know, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Oy vey.
Really wanted that. Like, maybe if there's items on it, I could kind of understand that, but Jesus.
You know, I love Jackie as a player. He's so good, but yeah, there are he makes some really highlights and also some lowlights.
Oh boy. Well, it is what it is. It's done. Life moves on.
Exactly.
It's going to be on cooldown now for about 80 seconds, but at this rate, probably not going to be another fight breaking out too soon just yet. How is Quap doing with the levels, by the way? She is level 18, so.
She's level 18, and she's got really unusual build, but you can see it in the context of this game.
Wow, Centaur.
Interesting Stampede.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, oh, the creeps barely save him. Okay, well, that works, I guess.
Yeah.
Planned.
They're getting, you know what? Hey, you called it earlier. Look at the Alpha Wolf getting value out of that aura, pushing the lanes.
There you go.
Here I am hating on HOD. You got it.
Alpha Wolf, a strong unit to bring with you, man. Amps that damage quite a bit. You see Juggernaut, plus 127 damage.
Nice timing on the Shadow Blade here by the Centaur. It might get them into this fight, although it is a tricky initiation. No.
No, they're not going to.
Back off.
Yeah. Oh, they're thinking about it, but not worth it.
It's really, yeah.
Is this
unfortunate that he felt the need to get that Shadow Blade. I understand he needed the sort of third mobility initiation item, but Lotus could have been so good.
They're going. They're going. When are they going? When are they going?
They need to be very careful about going.
Okay.
Yeah, that was not. There was never really. Notice the Onyx formation there. There was never really an opening, right?
Yeah.
They were in that nice circular formation where the heroes in the backline were always in position to support.
Wow, that was something, but yeah, no fight in the end, and as you pointed out, Team Onyx, their positioning, but you definitely got to give credit to NP as well. Like, it's so many teams will just find like, oh, they're right here. We have to go. We don't have a choice. All right, he's being very patient with that. As they find some. That's Juggernaut actually over here. The Sonic Wave will secure the kill.
Good
with
patience.
no buyback. Yeah, they catch him doing their ancients. I was wondering, all of a sudden I heard Lifestealer pop out. And sure enough, he got a little spread out for the team. So just as you're praising Onyx positioning right there, Juggernaut not necessarily with his team.
Yeah, it's a good read and good patience there by NP. I think they would have lost that fight had they tried to take it earlier by the secret shop, and you know, patience is rewarded. And they're going to go right back in here. This is man. See, I like Arif as a player. MSS here is he switched from the Lotus Orb, which would have been a really good value item in this game, to the Shadow Blade, and he's going to do all he can to get value out of that build. This is, you know, we as casters, we talk a lot about different item builds and whether they're optimal, but what matters in a lot of situations is the player getting maximum value out of the build that they choose.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's making use of here, and going to move to the top lane. Lifestealer still inside. Thought he might have been popping out there to maybe farm up the creep wave a little bit more, but they're going to stay up here as a unit. Does he have a TP? He does have a couple on him. Going to wait maybe for Onyx to push up. Ideally only one of them, but that's not going to be the case. Onyx, again, they're doing overall a pretty good job of sticking together.
I actually think NP need to take a fight here. If this Lone Druid, he's got his Hurricane Pike complete. He's going to get his AC up in a bit more gold, and that's a. I think NP are going to have a hard time taking fights.
Well, definitely want to be all five together if they're going to pick a fight. And right now they're spread out pretty far, kind of farming in other places. Leshrac does hit level 15 for one more mana for him as a result of the talent tree there, and working on a Yule Scepter.
Yeah.
Push it.
And he really needs the Yules, because Clockwork, of course, one of the classic counters to Lesh. Doesn't matter so much these as support. A little bit, you know, I said I liked the Shadow Blade idea, but little bit of wasted time here. And again, Onyx knows now that build is out. And they're not, NP are just not in a position to contest this Roshan at all.
Yeah. That's going to be a free Roshan kill 100%. And last time you were mentioning Lone Druid. Is it going to be him again? Yes, it is. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at Mason. I mean, Mason's 6-slotted, right? I guess you give up your Aqua, obviously, for an Aegis, but...
Ooh, what was that, actually? Hook shot? Okay, never mind. It's going to his teammate there.
Lone Druid is... he's got Ag, so it's no big deal. This Lone Druid is now in a position where if he gets his next... If he finishes AC without dying and starts making progress toward his next item, he's just going to be out of control.
Lifestealer, speaking of trying to get out of control, he's not necessarily that crazy, but I mean, that's all curious will help for the team, and working on that.
Look, the Kuros is nice, but he's just not going to be able to... How's he going to get to this Lone Druid without just a perfect initiation?
A Bane Fiend's Grip holding him down. But how does he do that? I don't know.
The dream. Yeah.
How does a
the
Bane...
dream. SVG needs one of those infamous, like, 900 Fiend's Grip.
Yeah. He only has level 1 Enfeeble as well, so even the Enfeeble is not necessarily going to be doing a whole lot this game. At least just for Bane. I mean, a hope for NP I do have to feel is the level 25 Quap. We're talking about that. It's not often you get to that point. It's not like it's easy by any means.
Well, they need it in this game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're at that point right now. Yeah, Onyx is, as a team, they're getting to be about as strong as they're going to get. And it's going to be hard for NP to take fights right now without a really, really good initiation by MSS.
I don't know if that was purpose, or I have to assume that was him farming, but he literally hoof stomped right as Slaughter blinked on top of him. Crushed him, so.
Looked like a high skill play. You always give the player, it's like a tie goes to the runner, right? You always give the player the benefit of that.
Make them look good, yeah. I'm fine with that, but
the
hell
poor
of a play.
ancient Rumblehide trapped in the trees. So sad.
Quap? Uh-oh. Quap might be in trouble. They're going to chase her down. They're pinging her. They want to catch. Are they going to be able to? No, the crush not in time, and she will be fine. Oh,
no, this is, man, So one of the reasons Boba Clockwork is so good, he's very, very good at abusing rockets for vision, but travel time on the spell, not quite quick enough there.
Yeah. Experience-wise, NP, man, look at that chart, actually. Upwards of almost 10,000 experience. They are doing a lot more spreading out farm.
And this is, by the way, going to be Jug's Abyssal here, complete when he has the recipe gold. So, Envy is dead if he gets caught now.
Yeah.
Even the Life Stealer now has to play more carefully. This is, without an error here, this is looking like an Onyx game.
Well, Onyx, they're putting pressure on the base right now. Here we go. Age is going to be reclaimed in 2 minutes, so plenty of time.
One Druid. Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah. Well, he's missing at least. But tower survives, but
he
not
doesn't
for
have MKB yet, no.
Yeah.
Probably won't get that.
Imagine one of the talents. You can't miss uphill attacks. GG. No, they're going to have to fall back, or they're feeling comfortable about falling back. Not necessarily really trying to force the issue, but that means the Aegis, a little bit longer, will be spawning here. And you got Queen of Pain working towards that level 25, building into that Maelstrom and Mjolnir eventually.
It's funny that the difference in net worth is really not big at all. It's just, and Onyx is at a point right now in their team power curve where they're way stronger with the items that they've got, but they're also not getting great penetration into the Dire base, Radiant base.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, again, the distance of Lone Druid, but again, he's still not necessarily the most comfortable. There's a spin in the Abyssal Blade on Dowie. Gonna be fine though. Will fall back off to the side. No jump in. They do actually catch. There comes the Sonic Wave out on Mason. Mason's dropping. The Shallow Grave will be applied. Double Force Staff. And he's trying to survive. Is that a Fiend's Grip on him? It is. That's locking him down that whole time. Queen of Pain jumps back in. Going for the kill by the Onyx side turn. The Blade Mail's pop. Has to throw himself in the air with the Eel Scepter. The Blade Mail's still on. The Scream not going to be enough. Down. Queen of Pain actually, she does blink out in time as Mason will survive. But down goes Slaughter and Clockwork. And they will lose the Aegis on a Lone Druid now. NP coming through. How did Eternal Envy live there? Is beyond me.
Oh my God! The Lincolns on Quap just paid for itself like 3 times over. The Lincolns procced on the abyssal from Jug at the very beginning of the fight. If that doesn't happen, Envy is dead at the beginning of the fight, and that's easily Rax for Onyx. I mean, that was just such a game changer. And then Envy, of course, gets off the miracle Yule's Blink late in the fight to survive. Man, you talk about. I thought NP needed a bit of a mistake from Onyx to get them back in the game here. Well, I think that mistake just happened.
Yeah, no, that was.
You got to know Quap has the Lincolns up. She's had it for a while now.
Yeah, but it's definitely a heat of the moment. Even the best players, you're in the heat of the moment. The decision making becomes a little less. Powerful
but
at times.
Now that level 25 talent all of a sudden becomes relevant because you got your Octarine up and you're almost to 24, and NP now has a very clear win condition where a minute or two ago it was looking pretty murky.
Yeah, they are still down the bottom racks, but that's really not the worst thing ever. As they're going to now push out the top lane.
Yeah, one Rax is okay. NP have enough wave clear. Really, all of their heroes but Bane can clear waves pretty well.
Picking out the bottom down here, but
really, that's the other reason, by the way, that I like the support Leshrac so much as the game goes on, is that you get into these late game situations and he provides you with that extra source of wave clear. He's one of the better wave clearing supports.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's safe to say one of the main reasons you would pick up the hero, I would think.
And this is it's very nice boots of travel by. Mm-hmm. All right.
Getting to that point of the game, boots of travel are going to be that much more popular amongst every hero.
Well, you got to be able to do what he was just doing. He was just pushing out the bottom lane, right? And it's just so important against this Onyx lineup and where they are right now to keep that lane equilibrium more or less in your favor.
Speaking of Lotus Orbs, Slaughter has one himself here. I think it's out for a little bit, but worth pointing out at least.
Yeah.
You don't like it.
It's a good item. Not quite as potentially big on them. I thought that item could potentially have just crushed it on MSS, although I do understand why he went for the Shadow Blade. And he's got the Ags up, which is, again, another reason that they're very, very scary in these fights.
All right. Round 2 here for Team Onyx at the top lane.
And this is so much of a tougher fight than it was a couple of minutes ago to take.
Oh, no
It's
Aegis.
now Onyx that really needs the better initiation.
Yeah. Yeah, no Aegis definitely playing a role as well, and you got to wonder if Onyx may even try to wait this out for yet another Roshan instead. Really trying to force the issue.
It's so tricky, right? You know that Queen of Pain is getting closer to her level 25. You know the Lifestealer is going to have his Abyssal up.
Oh, they're being very safe about it. They're going to counter-ward the vision out of the base right here. You look at the vision that NP does have. There's a little bit down here at the bottom rune spot, but that's basically it. As far as outside of their base, so playing pretty dark on the map right now, albeit daytime here. But Onyx, it doesn't seem like that they are actually going to be pushing in. I really think they're just going to wait for Roshan at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the decision, and it's probably the right one in this situation, but it's so tough. You gotta start to feel that window closing on you.
Well, there's the Spirit Bear dead, but anyway.
That's the funny thing about it, right? Is that like we used to sort of track Lone Druid by his bear cooldown. It's still relevant. Don't get me wrong, but it's just so much less than before. Like we're 41 minutes into the game, and the bear has Orb of Venom and Blightstone.
It's pretty absurd. It really is. This hero has changed. Safe to say, but obviously that's the talent trees. You can thank that and the Dota Pit event recently. And he'll just clean up some Ancients here, and it's Roshan back up. Okay, he's going to be spawning any minute now. As the Alpha Wolf is sitting there ready to go for the team. Given vision. Hookshot going to whiff right there. Almost got the Quap, but they will catch Quap with the Crush. She is level 25, by the way. Does have that 70% lifesteal, of course. Nightmare.
I mean,
Spirit Bear.
Yeah, she's level 25, and the hookshot would have gotten blocked by the Lincolns anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, now the turnaround smoke. This is a little bit. Oh man, they're gonna get. Okay, good reflexes. Good reflexes by Dubu there on the blink.
Server ward placed down. Obviously, they know how important Roshan is. Both teams, of course, do. Playing around the area. But now Quap, it's like you want a jumper, but at the same time, you have with the Linkins, and now with being level 25, the Blade Mail, you got to make sure that you really burst her down. Speaking of burst, they're going to go for the burst in the background on a Lone Druid, and he's dead.
That's a beautiful.
He'll be back in 25 seconds, remember, because of the less resurrection. Juggernaut Fiend's grip on him. Meanwhile, Shallow Grave is going to be applied to keep him alive a little bit longer. Omnislash, maybe? He needs to use it right here for sure. He's not going to use it. It's just a spin! And he ends up going down.
NP. Knew exactly where Onyx was. Envy gets a very nice ult off to start the fight, and that's just a straight jebaited right there, folks.
Lone Druid's back up, but with no Juggernaut and no Slaughter, they're not going to stop this Roshan. NP. Wow. I mean, this is more like, obviously, Onyx. They're not necessarily playing it too poorly. It's really just NP. Like, they're finding the jumps. And what is Quap doing in middle lane, by the way? She is pushing it out.
And Jackie, that's not your base. That's not your base.
Oh my God, he almost actually died. Yeah, he was a little deep right there. He will manage to actually live.
Just a little.
I mean,
you got a Maelstrom now. You know, you're feeling pretty strong, but that's not your base.
You're not literally unkillable at this point, but you are
that's
close to it.
That's actually pretty cool too. The yet another interaction from both the Static Shield and the Chain Lightning procs.
Yeah.
That proc his spell lifesteal. Pretty cool.
Yeah, you just see all of a sudden his life just starts shooting back up here as if he has like a satanic on him almost, an agility carry. So.
No, that's actually.
That's basically what
I
it
like
is.
that. With the Octarine and the level 25 talent, her build, the Mjolnir's a mini satanic. I like that.
Yeah. Bottom lane going to be pushed out here by Leshrac yet again with those bots as mentioned earlier. He's actually working on a Bloodstone. Is that a good item at this late in the game? It feels almost unnecessary.
On the Leshrac?
Well, this late in the game, I don't know, 44 minutes in.
Oh no. So okay, if it's a core Leshrac at this point in the game, obviously you lost if you're building Bloodstone.
Yeah.
No, it's a great item on the support Leshrac in this stage of the game. He still has support Leshrac still gonna have mana issues. He's still gonna want to be that consistent wave clearer. AoE damager, and the respawn time is a really very, very nice thing to have.
Dire's bottom tower.
It's almost with the way that they're able to take these fights, probably get a couple charges up on them for free early on. It becomes almost a mini Aegis.
Shrine, that's going to be destroyed right here as they push out the last secondary tower. So obviously still haven't killed it until this point, but really Onyx has been in control up into this point. So NP finally seeing what it feels like to be the ones with an advantage of sorts. Now again, the bottom racks obviously destroyed, so still have that to worry about with the lane being pushed in, but they are going to farm throughout the map, and now Onyx has a decision of what do they do now as far as truly trying to push out here. And is NP going to actually try to siege is the question too. I mean, this is definitely going to be a game of cat and mouse now.
Well, I just think that if you're Onyx, NP had a team where they could sit in their base and try and defend high ground and wait for Onyx to make a mistake that they can capitalize on. Onyx doesn't really have that as much as a team. They don't have the great high ground defense.
Dubu, they know he's over
they
here.
Suspect.
They do suspect. Oh!
That was so close.
Jesus. How did Rose almost get that close? Unfortunately, miss in the end.
Down to the pixel.
All right, well, we'll get away, but
unfortunately, those longer spikes from the cosmetic don't give you that stun.
No. Bloodstone has been purchased now on Leshrac, so yeah, he has really beefed up quite a bit. As down here, okay, that's just the Spearfair now, so they'll kill that off quickly. And they'll just spawn a new one yet again. But Lone Druid, he still has actually a couple of item slots. Yeah, this Lone Druid really isn't that farmed in compared to the game at this point. Yeah, he's 4th in the game actually in net worth.
Yeah. Well, he never really had the big net worth advantage. It was mostly just the impact of the talents on his mid-game power curve. And, oh, that's the second bear. Okay.
Did it just die again? Really?
90 seconds on cooldown.
See, one of my co-casters recently has brought this up about the idea of this new build Lone Druid. It's like the players that are playing it, they sometimes forget, like they just underestimate like the potential of the bear. They kind of forget about it because it's like you're not building the items on it, so you're building more about the sniper version. So you're not really worried about the bear dying, but it's still a good thing to have up. I mean.
No, it absolutely is, and it depends a lot on your lineup. It's still an invaluable zoning tool. Like you look at their team. Their team doesn't really, you got Clockwork obviously with a sucker shot. His cogs are more of a zoning tool. You got Slaughter Clutch, but they don't have that great a hard lockdown. You really do need the bear as another zoning tool. Dubu, I don't know if you want to take this fight, buddy.
Yeah, Eternal Envy just standing his ground, man. I love it.
This fight you.
Look at that. They cannot do nearly enough damage, and now the turn happened and Nightmare activated on Dubu in the background. Down goes Clockwork. Level 25 Queen of Pain doing work. No buyback on Slaughter. Clockwork does. Meanie ended up using it. They also take out Dazzle, who does not have a buyback, though, either. A double kill for Eternal Envy. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just see that's the thing. People are going to look at that fight and be like, like the Quap talent is ridiculously OP. Like, I mean, look at how long it took her to get there and all the things that had to happen in the game to get us this point.
Middle lane, Owie. He's just pushing on up. He's got that rage, of course. Going to jump on a Juggernaut. Takes the Abyssal Blade stun, but he's tanky. Doesn't seem like he's really taking too much damage himself, so he'll be fine. Falling back. And again, Eternal Envy from a distance. No Sonic Wave, but still doing plenty of damage with those screams on a less than a 5-second cooldown even. So the middle tower actually stays alive right there. Enough counter push right now for Team Onyx, apparently. A little surprised at that, but this round 2 here of the creep wave, it should be able to easily take it out. Not even going to wait for it. There, in fact, jump in the background on a Lone Druid, and he will survive with the double Force Staff to stay alive. But now Slaughter, he's going to go down. Quap did kill him in the background, by the way. So Lone Druid has to wait 30 seconds before he's back up. Omni Slash has a lot of targets, though, here. Yeah, he's about to do a lot of creeps. Not the most damage. Abyssal Blade stun. Juggernaut's going to die. No buyback. That should do it. NP going to complete the comeback here in Game 2.
Yeah, and really, if you look at the net worth graph, not that much of a comeback. But what it boils down to in both of these games is that it was Onyx that made the mistakes in the key fights. When you look at the last game, losing the Ember Spirit, losing the Luna, and then you look at this game, with the Mason Juggernaut using his Abyssal Blade on the Qualifier Lincoln's up in the base, and that's setting the tone for the rest of the fight. Onyx are close, and this is going to be a good team when they have the time. It makes a big difference that NP has been together for almost 6 months, where Onyx has played, like, this is their 10th game together as a team. So NP, I think, are where they want to be. I do think that they're going to win out, and they have a tough series against Complexity. But if they can win out, they're going to represent NA at the Starlight event, which is a bit of an upset, but really a nice series. Pleasure cast.
Well, that's I was talking about that earlier. That final day is going to be really something because, as you're saying, yeah, right now NP does control their own destiny with the way the records are looking, but Complexity, obviously, they're also going to be fighting for that spot as well, and they need a couple things to happen in their favor. But if that comes down to that final day, which it very likely could, they could even play spoiler, let alone even have a chance.
Call split with DC.
Yeah.
So that's a very tough series. Now, NP has kind of had Complexity's number here over the last 6 months or so, but that's going to be a very interesting series. Still, definitely DC, NP, and Complexity all in it. Onyx right now on the outside looking in, but still with this, they have this weird system, right, where you get 3 points for a 2-0.
Yes.
So they still, I don't think this mathematically eliminates them, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate. There's only one spot because, especially with the American region getting better as of late, you'd have hoped that there would have been two.
You look at it's one spot and DC's in the qualifier. It's like okay, I understand, guys, that historically NA not as strong as EU, but you really do. If you're gonna invite EG, you really do have to, and not DC. You really have to think about multiple NA qualifier spots. But again, maybe that's just my bias.
That's a discussion for another time. But
exactly.
Anyways, as you mentioned though, and that is going to be doing it here for the coverage of tonight. Team NP 2-0 over Onyx in the NA. A solid comeback of sorts in that game, and Onyx, it's got to be a little bit of a stinger for them, knowing how close they were to at least splitting the series, but going to be coming up just short. So I want to thank you, Nahaz, for joining me once again. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to say before we wrap up here?
At Nahaz Dota on Twitter, and shout-out to all of us that joined us here for some great Dota tonight, taking a break from U.S. politics, which is making Twitch chat look level-headed and reasonable at the moment. But always fun to be doing some great Dota. Hope to be casting with you again soon, buddy.
Definitely. Had a lot of fun myself. And, guys, thank you for this opportunity, to BTS especially. This is going to be my final night here for the Starlighter I-League Star Series American qualifiers here. Had a lot of fun the 4 nights that I got the chance to do some coverage here. So big shout out to BTS as well as Starlighter. And thank you guys for tuning in. As far as myself, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at BreakyCPK and my Twitch channel. Hope to be doing a lot more casting as well with future events right here. Definitely been a fun process. Excited to keep things going along. So thank you guys for tuning in. Congratulations once again to Team NP on the 2-0 victory. So have a good night, guys. Tomorrow's matches, by the way, real quickly, kicks off with DC versus Infamous, NP versus Duop, and then Complexity versus Dalcom. We'll finish it off. So actually a great lineup of matches there. The 3 top teams going to be playing, all in different matchups. So looking forward to that one. Again, kicks off at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2200 Central European Time. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you next time here. Until then.